Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? SPRITZ Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.
Hey guys, welcome back. Drip and Farm Poor Property. I'm your host, Drip Coach, and let's jump right into it. So we're going into another liquidity video because I've been hearing a lot about this, especially as it relates to DripX, and I've covered this regarding the staking pool and the payouts and all that. But it's clear that people in the discussion still don't actually understand how liquidity pools work and what actually liquidity truly means. So with that, let's actually go straight to the definition. According to Binance Academy, it's a great, since we're talking about Binance, let's look at what they say. What is liquidity and why does it matter? Liquidity is the measure of how easily you can convert an asset into cash or another asset. Now I'm going to pause right there. So the most important for us is cash. Yes, other assets would be other cryptocurrencies. However, by definition of asset, it may not necessarily be another cryptocurrency, because at the end of the day, what we are all looking to do is be able to use this magic internet money in real life. And right now, there are very few crypto assets that can basically be converted into this IRL cash equivalent fiat. There are tons of crypto assets that you might be able to offset tokens into, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to go into one of the major blue chips or stable coins so that you can get it into cash, because those have the most liquidity by definition for this. When the market is illiquid, it can be very difficult to execute trades without having a significant impact on the price. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because of all the people I've heard going back and forth about how much liquidity is in Drip. And I want you guys to get educated on how you can actually track this yourself and how to avoid being misled from some of the narratives and the information, and even the tools that we have out there that could be giving you inaccurate information or not exactly helping you understand how to define the liquidity in the contract. So the first one I want to bring up is an actual LP that someone created on their own. And I want you to see this right here, because a lot of people may come to these Dex Screener, Dex Tools. I'm using Dex Tools right now, but there are multiple ones out there. And then you type in your DripX token, and then you might see this. You're like, oh, wow, $532,000 in liquidity, right? Now, there's two ways you can verify what's in this. And I'm going to show you the blockchain way, which is the confirmation that you should be using. So whenever you click this pair, this token pair, so this is someone created this on PancakeSwap. So if you know anything about LP pools, you basically put two assets together and then you create the ratio of those assets. So we click this pair. You see right there says DripX USDT. So then that opened up this window. And here we can actually look at what that LP pair was created with. So we see that there is $1.53 of stablecoin and 17 trillion DripX tokens. That's where this liquidity comes from. So when this number here gets thrown up, it's because it is multiplying the total value of the assets that are in here across the actual fair market value of DripX right now. So this does not exist. So you cannot come over into this pool and do any trades, because you can see there is $1.53. There's no true liquidity by this definition to cash out into, like to get cash. So this pool, yes, you could bring in BUSD and you could get DripX out of this pool. But if you had DripX and was trying to sell it out, There is not $532,000 worth of liquidity. It does not exist, even though that's what it says here. So now that you can see that the numbers can be wrong and how to verify it yourself, we're going to actually dig into the details on some of the other liquidity pools, and Dex Tools does show it down here as well. So $1.52 in USDT and pool DripX. So I've already done the legwork of putting all of the drip and DripX and wrap drip token LPs here to look at, so we can actually go through and see what's in each of these. So when you look at DripX and wrap drip, we're going to come back to this one later, but you see $28,000 in liquidity. But not this, that's not the one we're going to come back to later. The one later is DripX and wrap drip. DripX and WBNB is fine. So you see that there's 41.29 BNB in this one. And this is the one I said we want to come back to because it's DripX and wrap drip. And this is important to understand. So these two are, how do I want to phrase this without triggering some people? So they're not like directly to cash. So you have basically two meme tokens here, wrap drip and DripX. It's not BUSD, it's not BNB, it's not even Pulse. It's wrap drip and DripX. So the market value of these is assigned based off of the LP ratio. And at the end of the day, this has to come out all the way back to where the actual liquidity is, which I'm going to show you is in BNB and BUSD with the old school pools that we have. But anyway, let's move to wrap drip. We have this one here showing WBNB and wrap drip. And then you get back to drip and wrapped BNB. This has 16.6, and the fountain does not show up here, but you do see this one on the B2. But the fountain, you have to go to the actual contract, which I'm going to show you guys later. And then you have drip BUSD, 162 for BUSD and 7.73. And then you will have the wrap drip and the Pulse token itself with 184 million Pulse. So I actually opened all these up here so you can look at them on the contracts themselves. Sorry, this is the actual drip. We're going to come back to that. But like this one is the native DEX. So this is this is Pancake Swap DEX drip BUSD. This is the one that had the $166,000. And when you come to the BSC scan, you can see that value. And then it tells you where all of that is at. So the bulk of it is in BUSD, and that matches up with what we see here. Could have changed a little bit based on when I pulled that screen up, but you get the point. Pooled BUSD. And that's what we're looking at in here. There's a little more in here than showing up on Dex Tool. Then we come to the fountain. This is the one that doesn't show up because it's a native DEX, so it's not being tracked on Pancake Swap and Dex Tools. These things look specifically from there, but you can come straight to this address. You can see right there $269,000, and that is coming from 681 BNB balance. And 681 times the current price of BNB gives you that 200, some odd $1,000, right? Then we come over to Pulse. This one has 184,000 wrapped PLS. So this, you can think of wrapped PLS as basically the BNB over on the Pulse chain. So this does have a value that can be converted to cash. It is a coin on the Pulse chain that does the transactions and stuff like that. So it's native to the Pulse chain, just like BNB is native to the BNB chain and ETH to the Ethereum chain. So there is a dollar value assigned to this, and that therefore does create actual liquidity. And you can get that number by simply coming over to CoinGecko and typing that value in here. And then you get the equivalent of $24,378 is in Pulse at today's prices. So that LP value will go up and down based off, of course, the price of Pulse, the same way that our BNB price goes up and down based off the price of BNB. You guys get that. You've been here long enough to understand that. Then over here is the DripX Wrap Drip LP. This is the one that shows up. DripX Wrap Drip shows up as $281,000 in liquidity. Now, this is the one I said I wanted to come back to, because when you look at this, There is no value assigned to that. Why? Because these are, like I just said, they're technically meme tokens. So the DripX token currently has a value assigned, and that's the dashboard divs we're all excited about that we see here. So there is a value, but there's not enough liquidity to transfer or sell all of these DripX tokens. So there will be a lot of slippage if you try to come in here and sell this to realize that $281,000. And also the same thing with the wrap drip. The wrap drip eventually has to make its way to either wrap drip BNB or all the way back to OG drip and BUSD and BNB. Then we have this PancakeSwap DripX wrap BNB on V3. There's $16,000 in liquidity here. And again, it's only counting the ability, the cached version. So I don't know a better way to describe this, but the liquidity for all of these assets, what you're really looking at is not another crypto token. You're looking at the actual, what can be turned into cash equivalent. You cannot go and buy anything with this or with wrap drip. If you were to make an exchange, say for example on SPRITZ would take your wrap drip and try to either sell it into this wrap drip BNB if there's enough, because they BNB they can convert, or they will go all the way from wrap drip to drip and from drip to BUSD or drip BNB. You cannot just sell straight up DripX or wrap drip. There's not enough liquidity in those pools for all of the tokens that are floating around. Now, of course, took the liberty of putting this into a spreadsheet so you can have a better understanding of what this actually means. And we can actually find a absolute low based off the current circulation of drip. Because remember, the minting's turned off. Before I used to do this analysis, it was like a hypothetical, a theoretical, if we stop the minting and things of that nature. But now that the 1% daily inflation has been shut off, there is going to be a cap of tokens. Now, we don't know what that is as of right now in this video. It is 233,581,000 total tokens. And the vault, actually this needs to be refreshed, but these are the numbers I'm working with on the spreadsheet. I haven't refreshed this yet. But the vault has had over 1 million in it. Now it's actually under 1 million. So people are still able to claim out drip. But as long as this stays full, then this could be the max supply. I told you guys I still believe we're gonna get closer to 300. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like with that price. But what I'm getting at is there is a fixed number of drip, somewhere between 230 and 350 million drip. And based off of that number and the actual BUSD and BNB that we have, you can determine an actual price floor for drip. So what I've gone ahead and done is get the value from each of those contracts, the exact same thing I was showing you previously. So remember, in the BUSD contract, there was 165,000 BUSD. The drip does not count. So even though you look at this and the liquidity says 325, it is doubling. It is counting the other side of the LP, but that drip has no value. It has to be converted into BUSD. So you only count that cashable asset, so to speak, the BNB or the BUSD. And that's where your true liquidity lies. So yes, on paper, it's double, which when you see this final number, you'll see that it might be closer to what you may have heard people saying in the community, but you have to cut that in half if you truly understand liquidity and blockchain and how these pools work. So we have in BUSD $165,000. In BNB, we have 269,000. Over on Pulse, from the Pulse token, we have available 25,000. This pool, I didn't put a value there because in order to realize these profits and turn them into cash, you would have to convert that wrap drip into one of the pools that have wrap drip and BNB, which just doesn't have enough money to do it, or all the way into drip. And then if you do that and sell it out, well, then these prices go down because now you're adding OG drip onto one side of the LP and therefore taking out the BUS or diluting the BUSD BNB value basically. So there's no value assigned there, even though again, you will see it over here, $282,000 of liquidity. There is no liquidity there. DripX and WrapDrip, it's not an actual liquidity provider. It is just something that you can move in and out of, but it's no different than this imaginary liquidity here that I showed you in the beginning so that you can understand this. And lastly, you have WrapDrip and BNB. This is legit because it's BNB. So once you add all these up, you end up with a total of $505,000. Now, I've heard people in the community saying we have $1 million of liquidity. Yes, if you double that, we have $1 million. But remember, the other part of that LP, the drip, the WrapDrip, the DripX, WrapDrip, that does not count. It looks great. It's like dashboard divs. It looks great on paper, but that is not true liquidity. Our true liquidity is this $505,000 based off of the current price of these tokens. So BNB, Wrap PLS, those are volatile. Those will change. Now, because we have this amount of liquidity sitting there, and we also know how many tokens are currently available. Oops, it's not that one. We can come up with an actual price floor for drip. So right now there's 233,581,000 drip. And eventually that's where all the liquidity goes to. So even though right now, yes, DripX has a liquidity pool, that liquidity pool is all locked up in the staking contract. It's not actually able to be sold out of. That's why I've already included it here. DripX, Wrap BNB on B3. And the DripX WrapDrip is the largest pool that we have most of the assets or tokens in. But they haven't put anything into those pools. So therefore selling those tokens, that's why you have to stake them if you want to see some profits. So going back to this, we can say that this is the total amount of drip tokens, because even if you were trying to realize profits from DripX, your best way to do so as of now and the shallow pools will be going from DripX to WrapDrip, WrapDrip to OG Drip, and OG Drip to BUSD or BNB. That's why this number is important, because the bulk of the liquidity that they created for DripX is tied to DripX and WrapDrip, and WrapDrip is tied directly to this number. There can never be any more WrapDrip than the actual total number of drip in the contract, and chances are very high that there will never be that equivalent, because most people are not going to wrap their drip. So remember, it's a 1-to-1, and you can expect maybe 25% of the community, 30% of the community to wrap their drip, and the others have forgotten about it, tapped out, sitting in the wallet, sitting on the dashboard, who knows. But when we look at the contract right now, they have acquired 13%. So there would be a stretch to me. I mean, we can see what goes forward, but for another 15% to come into this from people's balances, it's hard to say. But anyway, you get the point. So back to this. So that being said, this creates an absolute price low for the token of 1/5 of a penny, because all you do is you take the total token supply and divide it by the amount of liquidity that we have, and therefore you get that. And then this last brand reveal is what I've projected the total number of potential tokens that could ever exist. Now, this may not ever be realized because it will be determined on whether or not the vault stays full. And so far, the launch of DripX has kept it full, but just keep that in mind. So all the people that were buying up drip at the 1 cent price were getting a pretty good opportunity, and there's still a potential for it to go lower if people started to sell, but I think they've established their own floor for the drip price, and that is a true floor that you can see now based off of true liquidity. So hopefully you guys will be better educated on how to understand this number and not get caught up in basically dashboard divs like this from some of these tools, and learn how to read this on the blockchain. See what tokens are in there and which ones actually have a value. Like, that's the simplest way to come and look at this. Just like this Binance Peg BUSD. Then when you come over here to this equivalent, it tells you zero balance, zero value, because according to Binance, that does not have an actual value. These tokens don't have a value that's pegged directly to them, even though, yes, there is some liquidity there, but it is not enough to represent this entire value here. So hopefully that made sense, and hopefully you guys are much clearer. And as of this video, we still got some time. We will see what happens on day 8. So logging back in here, and I'll be updating my strategy in my next video for that. All right, smash that HBO special, help a brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.